Hello everyone, I'm Tessellating Hexagons, and we're back with another part of Touch Detective. Yes, this is Chapter 3, or Episode 3 as I should be calling it, Stranded, The Miracle of an Innocent Heart. Quite possibly the strangest chapter in this entire game. Not that I said it again. That's something that I'm going to address right here and now. They call it episodes in-game, but I'm calling them chapters because to me an episode is one part of this LP. That's a simplified version anyway. Alarming doorbell. And of course it's Penelope. But again, what do we expect her? And we've seen the opening cutscene, something is up somewhere that we haven't been yet. Supposedly it's legal, but Chloe, get off the phone! Literally. Like, seriously, you're crushing the phone. This is a very nice phone, it's useful. How can we get to chapter 4 if you're sitting on the phone? It could be broken for all you know. You're not even the rich one, you couldn't even pay for a replacement. But anyway, so it's the big one, apparently. But maybe it's not, I don't know. Chloe, haven't you caused enough damage already? Leave Penelope alone. Yes, I'd imagine it'd take a while to calm her down. So, the skating rink, that's where she was in the opening cutscene. A snow fairy? That's... like I said, it's the strangest chapter in the game. Well, compared to the next game, it's really not all that strange, but still, it's a snow fairy. Dear, oh dear, Penelope. Of course it won't be a snow fairy. Wait, what? That's the only reason. Right, never mind the fact that, fairies... You know what, it's Touch Detective, I'm not going to question it. Well, this is a difficult situation because he can't go home till winter, but the skating rink won't last that long because they're going to demolish it, or... I don't know, they'll do something bizarre to it anyway. So... yeah, apparently Mackenzie doesn't know what the word sleuth is. Well, at least she's buggered off at last. I just realised, Funky, get out of the bin! Why? Why are you just... Okay, so, supposedly it was a snow fairy. Or maybe she was just hallucinating. Oh, burn. Anyway, well, that's ironic. So, absolutely adorable, this tiny ball of light according to the opening cutscene, but then again, we're not seeing it through Penelope's eyes, we're seeing it through Mackenzie's, which again ties in with my theory about the zombie people, which I will get on to eventually, I promise. I'll probably save that for the bonus episode, which will be in about 4 or 5 episodes time. I don't know, because chapter 4 is quite long. So, Cromwell says something insensitive, and then sort of does a U-turn and, you know, trying to make Penelope feel better, because... But anyway, enough getting hung up on details. So, it sounds like a very tricky case, because just like the first one, it seems highly improbable, but yet it's somehow a thing, so... And let's start by talking to Cromwell. He seems to have an idea. Artificial snow machine. Like, something you'd put on the roof and then it would make it snow? Oh, sounds interesting. Oh. Well, we'll leave you to that. That kind of reminds me. It's like halfway through February, and here in the UK we haven't even had a single bit of snow since this time last year. What the hell? What the hell, weather? It's blowing the entire budget on the polar vortex in the US. Anyway, skating rink. There's a lot of things for touch list in here, and I'll get over to those in just a moment. But we can't see the snow fairy. Typical. But apparently we can't hear him either, but Penelope can see him clearly, hear him clearly, touch, smell, taste, whatever. The point is, we have difficulty perceiving him. I'd say him or her, but it is a him. That comes up later on. But nope, we can't see him, we can't hear him, and this doesn't really help Penelope's case. We're starting to doubt that she's... doubt that she's being serious, not doubt the cheese. So much cheese. Anyway, so believe in the fairy. Believe, believe. Took a moment to realise that you have to react there, and suddenly twinkliness. And now we still can't see him, hear him, or any of the others, but we can perceive him somehow. So he kind of looks like the icing, the dream icing from chapter 1. So yeah, let's have a chat with this supposed fairy, or dream icing, whatever it is. So his name's Noel, of course. Of course his name's Noel. He's a host of the fairy version of Deal or No Deal. So apparently he's putting his life in danger in name some sort of test. That's like a massive plot hole, and they're just... That's their hand wave moment there. Apparently most people can't see fairies, which makes this particularly difficult. So... let's start on the touch items in here. There's a very pointy carrot nose of this snowman, there's the ice in general, and there's also the railing behind her. I've only ever been skating like 3 or 4 times in my life, and I was terrible, then good, then really good, and then I just forgot it all again. And there's that other King Midas has donkey ears moment. And the other thing for the touch list, it's an air conditioner with tassels on it. That's cute. That is cute. You can sort of see on the top screen though, just behind Mackenzie's hat, it's not moving in the art at the top. But anyway, holy walrus. So this is the chap who's in charge around here, and his name is Barnaby. And just for the sake of the pun, because the name of the music playing at the moment is Ice Ice Barnaby. I'm not even joking. I will show that off in a bonus episode. There's a jukebox which shows the name of all the tracks, which really isn't necessary. So he really does plan on closing the facility down, which is a shame, because skating's fun, as long as, I don't magically forget how to do it. Oh. Apparently he's been losing weight hand over fist, and I suppose that's going to happen if you live in a skating rink. Because, why would you actually live there anyway? Surely you could just live somewhere else and then come to work. Oh, did not need the visual. Just as long as that hole in his bathroom aren't one and the same. Slip of the tongue there mentioning the fairy to an adult. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of those explaining screens throughout this chapter, because it's the strangest one in the game. I really don't need to elaborate on it. Oh, fine then. Now, this is a interesting bit of the chapter. Well, not interesting, but something I've had experience with. Like, you don't have to just talk to Penelope again, but just showing that Penelope's there. But if you bring... But Barnaby isn't, then you can go and bring Barnaby over, and Penelope will have gone. Because... I don't know, she's Penelope. And then when you go outside to fetch her, because she's gone outside, obviously, Barnaby will have given up and gone back into his house. And you can repeat the cycle as many times as you like. You can never have both of them at the same place at the same time. So he can't communicate with the fairy, so the fairy might as well not exist. We can try convincing him otherwise. I'm getting slightly distracted by the staff he's holding, like, why? But yeah, we'll try what Penelope used on us, because it kind of worked for us. We can now sort of see fairy sprinkles or whatever. But it's not working for Barnaby, it seems. Well, we're having doubts ourselves, so it can't be that easy to we can't just pass on the message that he's there if we're not too sure ourselves, so we'll go and fetch Penelope. But of course, when we go back in, he will have gone, and awkwardness. So come on, he's slacking at this point. We're cold as well, but we're in there doing all the interactional S workers. Oh, I should probably know the name of the person who said that, because that's going to come up on my English exam. Blech. Anyway, now we could go and fetch Barnaby again, but she will have gone by the time we get back, and then the cycle will repeat over and over again, so we'll just have to use this hand warmer that Barnaby left behind, and just keep prodding it, because that's how hand warmers work, I think. I've only ever encountered them once, and that was on an exchange to Germany. I have mixed memories about that. Anyway, we'll give her the hand warmer now that it's perfectly warmed up. And that should convince her to stay just for long enough so that we can fetch Barnaby, and good times will be had by all. Come on. Come on, you big wolves. Now, if you were to trick him into looking down, would he impale himself on his teeth? That's something... I ask all the big questions. But, introduce him to Barney. Oh, well, so all this was for nothing then. Well, that's just unfortunate. Well, that explains it, I suppose. It's his predisposition to just not believe it exists. We're having doubts, but I'd like to say we're opening up to the possibility of null existing. Well, what can we do? We can sense that he's there, and... Where do we go from here? Because we're kind of stuck in a rut, because we can barely see the fairy, Penelope can, and nobody else can, it seems. Well, let's see what Cromwell's take on the situation is. I beg your pardon? So there's a rational explanation for this, is there? Well, I mean, that makes sense, but... Well, that's one way of putting it. So, well, look, I'd say, but we do believe that, no, we do have our doubts. And we'll just fire the question right back at him, we don't need to be awkward otherwise. So, he believes them, but he can't see them. Cromwell logic. That thing on the left there, is that an apron or is that a triangular light? It's probably an apron. But, getting sidetracked. The problem is, adults can't commit their hearts to agreeing with their brains and seeing fairies, and it's surprisingly complicated. So, we can't see them because we're too logical and too Leighton-esque and not young enough at heart, and your darn kids and your fairies. So, yes, we're talking about Chloe here. She's gonna turn up and, oh, it's so cold, oh, you're so crazy, and oh, hello Chloe, we totally weren't just talking about you. Oh, that's 1 out of 2. Ah, she said it. LOL. Wait, what? What? Really? Wow. But this says a lot about Chloe. It's also very important for the very end of this chapter, which obviously will be in the next episode. But this... Okay, so maybe she can't see him quite as clearly as Penelope can because he's see-through, but still more than we can see him because we just see sparkles, and that's probably just graphical limitations of the game. But it works in the context of this chapter. So, yep. I mean, that's a very inflammatory way of saying it, Mackenzie, but yeah, you are just a kid, Chloe. Rude? Well, you're the rude one. Well, it doesn't really seem obvious what to do from here, but see if we can get Barnaby in on this action. Come on. It was asking about stuff. What? Well, yes, what's that got to do with the skating rink? You're talking about ice. It's so useful, but get rid of it anyway, you strange individual. And what's it going to do then? But you were just saying how useful ice is. Don't melt it, you crazy fool. And for that matter, apparently it's not all that cold inside an igloo, it's just a climate. Or whatever. But yeah, fish in a pool, that's a strange idea. Yeah, I don't follow your logic at all. So... Now, I can sort of sympathise with the stomachache thing, because I've had stuff like that in the past, and it's really not pleasant in the slightest. But apparently it's a curse from the fairy. So... Chloe is apparently very, very into this. So that's not exactly going to help matters. See, now you scared him, and now he's shivering, and now he's going to turn the heat up. Well, turn the cold down. And that's not going to end well for Noel, surely, because... You made him heat it up, that's... See, this is not conducive to saving the fairy in the slightest. And that's not something I'd expect to say on a daily basis. Well... You're saying that as if you have suggestions that we've turned down. How are we the useless ones? Penelope understands. Yeah, I'll believe that when I hear it. Go on. That's not a plan, that's a plan to make a plan. Planception. There, I said it. Do you want my input or not? So, we have ideas. and it's fairly obvious whose is whose, because Penelope is still fixated on the idea of making it snow, and no matter what you pick, Chloe will find some way of twisting it around to mean, let's get Barnaby fat because then he can't complain about his stomach. So, yeah, no matter which one you choose, that's what she's going to go with. So it really doesn't change the outcome of this chapter in the slightest. We still have to end up doing all three anyway, spoilers. So we have to fatten him up somehow. And I seem to recall him saying that you can go fishing in the ice hole, the hole in the ice. So we'll just fish and then feed him with whatever we find. So we have to get a whole load of food from the hole. But we don't have any way of fishing. Well, we do have fungi. So he's gonna have to go in and... Not what I would have thought to have done in the situation. Like, you would have thought you'd have to go out and get like a stick and some string and tie it together, but nope, you can just have fungi do it. And that's a strange looking fish. Go on, enlighten us. Of course, it's just a packet of frozen food. We'll have to tell Funky to go in and get some more. And again, I'm not really sure how you're supposed to work out how you're meant to do this, but I know to do it, so... Consider it that you've learned it from me. He's taking a sweet time down there. And this kind of reminds me of Sonic Adventure in the stage Ice Cap when you're playing it as Big the Cat and he has to go fishing. There's a hole in the ice there, and like 90% of the people watching this video won't know what I'm talking about. So instead of rambling on about that, we'll just get back to the action here. We shall feed Barnaby with frozen food. And while it's still frozen, because that's totally a good course of action, that's totally going to end well, we'll just hand that railing over there, and he'll somehow get it. The farewell to the skating rink gift. Well, I mean, Chloe, I know that's the plan, but you have to be so rude about it. And I think this is the only time I actually see that emotion icon coming out of someone. Doesn't sound very pleasant. See, you've only made him colder, you silly Chloe. Look at that, they're just sort of jiggling in a suggestive manner now. We'll have to grab another one and... Well, what can we do? Okay, so we have to cook it. Well, there's only one place in the entire game that we can cook stuff in, as far as we know. So we're just gonna have to go there and microwave a frozen... But does that work? I should probably look into how to cook food since I'm going off to university in a couple of months' time. But yeah, this is probably what I'm going to end up doing to myself, just buying frozen food in bulk and just shoving it in a microwave. And so, deep fried oysters at a discount price. Oh, this bodes very well indeed. So let's just head back to the skating rink, and whether it's against our better judgment or not, we'll just give him the deep fried oysters. But first, we should get some food for ourselves, just, you know, either for us or to give to Barnaby in case the deep fried oysters don't work. And you can't really complain about a hot dog except for the fact that most of them nowadays are like 60% chicken, 20% pork, and then like another 20% question mark, question mark, question mark. Now, with this, you can pick any of them, you'll always get the same combination. You always get a single hot dog on a hard bun with no toppings, but you can ask him sassy questions like, oh, why not 3, or what's the difference, and, you know, he'll just give you an explanation. It's because he gets his hot dogs divided into units of 2, so you can't be bothered dividing them up, so you can get 3. And the buns are just... Soft ones had their best before date was yesterday, the medium ones the day before, and hard was sometime last week, because it keeps costs down. So there's our rather unpleasant hot dog. And it's added to the touch list, of course. So... something tells me that Barnaby won't want it, but we can hold on to it for later. It's not like it's going to go even offer than it is. So we'll just have to feed him more food. Farewell to Skating Week Gift Part 2. I'm surprised he's falling for it. So, yes. Now, that doesn't sound like it was written by an English speaker, but whatever. Surely you comment on looking delicious before you start eating it, and just saying, like, you wouldn't have half in your mouth and just be like, hang on a minute, this looks delicious. And so the discount stickers come off, and oh, that explains a lot. It's 10 years past its best. And there's another one here that expired last year, and another one that's 10 years old, and as Chloe says, did they even make frozen food back then? Well, probably. Ice, it's a thing. So, it's food poisoning. Yeah, makes sense. Really? Which supermarket? Did you go shopping at Lidl, good sir? I mean, I'd say possibly Aldi, but actually, Aldi's not that bad, in fairness. But, so he's putting himself through this, just to get these progressively crappier prizes that are all past deadline anyway, and he's blaming it on the ice ring. So you'd let go of your family legacy just to win a photo of a model, or now you're just overreacting. And suddenly only the tassels on the air conditioning no longer animated, they now become part of the background. But this is all at the expense of Noel the Fairy. Well, just like with Chapter 2, we've made very little progress, although we've made some progress in fairness. We've worked out why Barnaby's in pain, so, what more can we do? We have to find some way of making it snow and find a cold place to put Noel in. So, quite why Barnaby can't just suck it up and keep the skater and coconut, I don't know, but whatever. Well, the only cold place we could think of, or I can think of anyway, would be a freezer, and experience has taught me that if you bake stuff, you need a freezer for some stuff. It's a long story, and unpleasant memories are involved. But Antoinette has a freezer, but tragically, it's full of ingredients, as she's about to tell us, because I can see into the future. Yeah, we have to explain to her why we need to borrow her freezer. And she doesn't have any space because, like I said, it's full of ingredients. So, just, use all of them. You're a pastry shop. No one would object to having too much cake. You can never complain of not having enough cake, surely. So, pastry party seems legit. I'd attend. So now we have to go around telling people that there's going to be a pastry party. No one decided that we near the fountain, but whatever. This is like the equivalent of going around shoving butterfly fumes in people's faces in the first chapter. So now we're gonna... Oh yes, this is something from a touch list that I've missed. That wasn't the one I was talking about before though, but I'll get to that in a moment. Apparently she already knew, of course, because she's a fortune teller. She's totally bluffing, but still. What else? Yes, tell Daisy. This is the thing that I missed that I mentioned in the other episode. Clothes from the boutique, yes. So we're going to tell Catgirl here, pastry party, yeah, cake and pastry and stuff. Now who else do we need to tell? Well, we should probably let Penelope know as well as this health freak guy. I've not spoken to him that much, so I know he's a health freak, but you guys probably don't. Well, apart from what I've said. So we'll tell Penelope as well, even though she'll be too busy messing around with us to be able to attend, but whatever. Now, who else should be on our hit list of people to attend? Well, what about Lindsay, because she's no longer working with John the Weenie Man, it seems. Well, yeah, that's stuff to find out in the bonus episode. And... oh yes, we'll talk to one of the tenants up here. Anna, I believe her name is. And to reference another thing from Chapter 2, the eyes, they see us inviting Anna to the pastry party. And she'll rest till then, and you never actually see the pastry party, so you never get to meet Anna. So sad, but oh well. And of course, Beatrice. No party will be complete without an inflatable fetish lady. That came out wrong. But you know what she's like. Anyway, before we invite Cromwell as well, because he has a thing for saying crumbs, we invite him to ingest some crumbs. Things that you totally say on a daily basis. Anyway, so the preparations should be well underway. That's our cue to go back to the pastry shop and confirm that the freezer is empty and ready, or will be soon. There's also something else. Something you might not expect waiting there for us. It's a bottle of hot sauce. Makes you breathe fire and provides a good sweat. This could be useful. And surely somehow we could use it to trick Barnaby into turning down the air conditioning, but... Oh yes, I got this by accident, I forgot that was there. It's a wrinkle in the flooring, although it's not easy to tell. Yes, perhaps we can use the hot sauce to somehow trick Barnaby into lowering temperature. If frozen food makes him cold so he turns the thing down, then surely spicy food will make him turn it up so that it can... You know... Yeah, we'll just take out the ketchup and put in the hot sauce, because... Yay, ketchup! Yeah, put it all over the hot dog, because Mackenzie claims to be a good cook. People who are so pretentious that they dip their chips in ketchup are not people you need in your life, and to hell with what it says on Facebook. So let's try and make a mad dash for Antoinette's freezer, and that's not even a euphemism. How could holding your breath maintain your body temperature? I'm sorry, Chloe, but do you even science, bro? And yet, Noel seems willing to try. This can't end well, surely. This... or whatever. Countdown to your heart's content. Death! Oh, sorry, Penelope, but... that didn't go quite as planned. So, that's the end of part 1, and we'll see you in the next episode for part 2 of Chapter 3, the strangest chapter in the game, like I keep saying. Bye bye!